Chances are, if you have or are living in Vancouver right now, you might have had a huge headache trying to ride public transit at times. I'm pretty sure all of you have had the experience of arriving at a transit point thinking you'd get to work or to school on time, but instead you have to wait forever for your bus because of some weird reasons such as traffic or something else, and then you eventually get to work or school late for the fifth time in a row. My parents have definitely had this frustration when they first moved here 20 years ago. Back then, the bus came every 60 to 90 minutes, which made it almost impossible to commute without the use of a car. They also had to wait in the rain, snow, wind, and whatever elements nature can bring to you. Think of how bad that'd be. 20 years later, with the talk of the new Compass card coming out, I want to take this time to talk about the things that I think Translink really needs to improve. So let's go! Ever hate how if you do not own a monthly fare card, you feel so pressured to use up those 90 minutes that you're given or else your fare isn't worth it? Or hate it how when you're on the boundary between two fare zones, and even if you just cross that fare zone boundary for just one stop, you gotta pay $1.25 more? That's why I personally propose to Translink the idea of scrapping the fare zone system and replacing it with a distance-based fare system where you pay for the number of stops you need to go instead of paying a base price of $2.75 to travel just from my local mall back home. Because the way that transit is currently priced here in Vancouver, it is currently cheaper, more convenient, and more efficient to use your car than it is to use transit, particularly if you travel only short distances. Also, if a distance-based transit system is put into place, this may encourage more people to take transit. You need proof? I've been to Hong Kong a long time ago, and I've used their public transit system, which consisted of the bus, the subway, and the world-famous Star Ferry. And from my observations, a lot more people use transit in Hong Kong than they do in Vancouver. This is probably because the distance-based fares were similar to the cost of using your car in Hong Kong, and on a side note, it is quite expensive to use your car in Hong Kong compared to Vancouver. Also, tools such as the Octopus card made it very convenient to pay your fares. Just tap on when you get on the subway or bus or whatever, and tap off when you get off. And the Octopus card can even be used at convenience stores and McDonald's, and of course you can use it on transit all across Hong Kong. This technology is what makes me really excited about the Compass card, which is to come in fall of 2013. The only thing that's just missing is the distance-based fare system, but I'm very glad that Translink has been talking about this since 2007. I just hope it becomes a reality sooner or later. There also needs to be an improvement with the accuracy of bus schedules, because far too many times I've been told that a bus would arrive at a certain time but instead arrives 10 minutes later. Or I'm promised that it would take me half an hour to arrive at my destination, but instead takes me an hour because of the traffic. To solve this problem, I personally propose to Translink the idea of separating the B line and other popular bus routes from other traffic, similar to what is going on in the bus rapid transit systems in Portland or Seattle. In these cities, the bus rapid transit system acts almost like the train rapid transit system, in which there are clearly marked stops with 2 lanes, one in each direction, that are only for buses and are unaffected by traffic lights or any other traffic problems that are going on the road. This type of rapid transit would be an interesting switch to the popular bus routes in Vancouver right now. What Translink is also doing is a really good idea as well. They're currently replacing all the old B-line routes with SkyTrain lines. And they already did this for one B-line in 2009, when the 98 B-line was replaced with the Canada line. In fact, they're currently replacing the 97 B-line in Coquitlam with the Evergreen line, so I'm very excited for that. But something needs to be done to the Broadway corridor. Did you know that the 99 B line, which runs along Broadway in Vancouver, is the most popular bus route in North America? That's crazy! On an average weekday, 55,000 people rely on this route to commute between Commercial Drive and UBC. Being a major route to UBC means that many students rely on this route to go to school. Something needs to be done to alleviate the congestion along this route. Translink has made plans to replace the 99 B line either with a bus rapid transit system, a light rail, or a SkyTrain, but what Translink is bad at is priority. The top priority in Metro Vancouver should be the Broadway corridor and not the Northeast sector. However, in the end, I'm glad that Translink has finally decided to build the Evergreen line. The The plan to build the Evergreen Line has been delayed for over 30 years due to lack of funding in the transit system, and I'm glad that it will finally be ready for use in 2016. Derek Zabel, the transit service reporter for CTV Morning Live in Vancouver, once said in an interview that no transit system is perfect, and I do agree with him, as there's never going to be an ideal transit system in the world. However, even with the flaws, our transit system should be able to align with the rest of the world. Currently, a lot of people have complained to Translink about the inaccuracies in the bus schedule, the price of fares in the city, as well as other major flaws in the system. And from my experiences, I have to agree with them, as our transit system is not yet up to par with the rest of the world. But I end on a good note. The system is improving. Translink has held talks in the past about implementing some of the ideas that have been brought up in other parts of the world. Now, all they need is the funding to improve our transit system, and I'm very excited to see what is in store for the future of Vancouver Transit. Away their chance to vote, it's like throwing away a right that many countries don't have, and that for me is like throwing away food. People don't understand how the top priority in Metro Vancouver should be the Broadway corridor and not the Northeast. Hi.